Okay, so it's the third round of the season and we are here in Spain, specifically at Jerez. So with Spain leading the way early on in the Nations table, with Nigel Mansell leading the way in the Drivers' Championship, with Gerhard Berger in second and third place going to Michele Alboreto. How will things play out as this early stage of the season continues? Portugal, of course, are yet to make it through the group the group pre-qualifying stage, which has put them in the bottom of the boards and puts them in danger of going out after the 8th round of the season. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the pre-qualifying list and we'll make our way over to the pre-qualifying sessions. And here we go, it is the first pre-qualifying session here in Spain. Specifically, we are in Jerez. And we've already got someone who wants to go out to set the benchmark for everyone to try and beat. That's one of the Kenyans. We'll go and find out who it is. It's Vic Preston that's going to go out and set the benchmark for everyone to try and beat. Driver changes going to this round. We've got 3 driver changes. And Jean-Louis Schlesser has disappointed the French team and has already been dropped. Taking his place will be Philippe Streif, as there is no F2 race here in Spain. Pierre Didon makes his return to F1, replacing the disappointing Bernard driver of Belgium, and John Bowe has replaced the also disappointing Vern Chopin for Australia. So we've got 3 drivers that were in the F2 division in the last race making their way to the F1 division, with 1 making his return while 2 are debuting in the F1 division. And what is Vic Preston's benchmark time? It's going to be a 120.3, but Terry Booth is a 119.4, so a very good time there for Terry Booth. And I thought he was going to be a lot slower because David Kennedy holding him up. And one coming across the line, George Fauché, the South African, 119.1 is the time, but his teammate Sam van der Merwe did 118.1, and Derek Daly goes even faster, 118.0. So Merwe, Fauché and Daly all a lot faster than Booth and Vic Preston here. So the bottom 3 will go out here. Gerhard Berger, fastest, 113.3. The man who is currently sitting second in the championship after getting his race win in West Germany, but DNF in the previous round. Jose Celsi goes into second. Ari Lunda goes in 5th. David Kennedy, 113.7, goes into second position. And we got John Bowe in his F1 debut pushes Vic Preston into the bubble, who's 120.3, and Alan Prost 113.6. That pushes Vic Preston in the danger zone of going out in pre-qualifying. So good job for John Bowe and his F1 debut. What about the other 2 drivers that are yet to go across the line? Apostolo, in 8th. Philippe Streif on his F1 debut goes into the lead, 170.0. George Fauché goes up into 8th, goes ahead of the Greek driver. So we got Vic Preston, Thierry Boutsen and Arie Luyendyk all in danger of going out in pre-qualifying. Arie Luyendyk try to see if he can improve his time, maybe push John Bowe down into the danger zone. He's got to find 300ths of a second to make the Australian drop. What can Arie Luyendyk do here? Luyendyk making his way towards the start finish line, 118.746 to beat, and he's going to be nowhere near that time, so Luyendyk stays in the danger zone. We've got 4.5 minutes left of this session to go, so anything is still possible. So watch out if anyone improves their times and where they're going to end up. So Streif leads the way, Gerhard Berger in the pits in second. Streif's teammate goes into second, goes ahead of Gerhard Berger, so both French drivers are in the top 2. There's David Kennedy 4th, Jose Celsi for Chile is in 5th. Then it is Derek Daly of Ireland in 6th. Sam van der Merwe 7th for South Africa, goes into the pits. George Fauché goes into the pits. Meanwhile, it looks like Sam van der Merwe missed the pit lane there. Vic Preston seems to be dropping quite a bit back in the Belgian. I'm not too sure Vic Preston is showing much pace to make it to the top 10, but we'll find out in due course. And going around the final corner, Thierry Boutsen, what's his time going to be at the start finish line? A 118.2, that puts him into 8th position. Vic Preston, oh my goodness, Vic Preston is actually nowhere near his best time, 123.6, so he stays the slowest man on this track. John Bowe goes into the danger zone, so he's at risk of not pre-qualifying. I mean, if he's able to do one more run, he might be able to turn things around. But as it stands, Big Preston is well and truly not going to make it. And Thierry Boutsen goes into 4th. He pushes David Kennedy down to 5th. So that's a very good showing there from the Belgian, really wanting to make sure he is well and truly into group qualifying. As the 45 seconds left to go, John Bowe and Apostolo are underway. This is their last chance to get into group qualifying, and Gerhard Berger is now the fastest man of this group. Philippe Streiff goes in second by 4 thousandths of a second. It can't get much tighter than that. Meanwhile, here's John Bowe coming down sector 1. What is John Bowe's time going to be? First to 10th, everybody 1.7 seconds. John Bowe, he is 1.6 seconds down. It's definitely not going to make it. Oh, and there is Vic Preston in the way. I think Vic Preston may just slow down Apostolo and Bowe, which will definitely help. Definitely ensures that John Bowe isn't going to make it to group qualifying. Yeah, 2.7 seconds down. Okay, so John Bowe is not going to get through, not going to make it out. He's trying to get past Vic Preston, but I think the damage is already done if John Bowe's not going to make it out. I mean, John Bowe does get Vic Preston, but it's too late, that's for sure. I mean, Apostolo's not able to get past it, but so Apostolo will get the final spot of this first group into group qualifying. So here we go, John Bowe making his way to the start-finish line. Oh man, that's really unfortunate, but unfortunately that's just how it goes in the Olympics. And George Fauci is going to be nowhere near his best time, but it doesn't matter because George Fauci is into the group qualifying anyway. And so here we go. Gerhard Berger wins the first pre-qualifying group by 4 thousandths of a second over Philippe Streiff. The other Frenchman, Alain Prost, is 3rd. Thierry Boutsen takes 4th. David Kennedy is 5th. Jose Celsi takes 6th. Derek Daly 7th. The 2 South Africans 8th and 9th. And Konstantinos Apostolo is the last driver to make it into group qualifying, which means we say goodbye to John Bowe, Arie Luyendyk and Vic Preston. Of course, it's now time for the second group pre-qualifying before we get into the group qualifying itself. And here we go, it is the second pre-qualifying group, so who will be the other 10 to make it into group qualifying in this group? We'll find out in due course as we wait patiently to see who will go out there to set the benchmark. But it's still quite a bit of time lost on them. And here we go, Possum around the last corner to set the benchmark time. And what is that benchmark time going to be for the New Zealander? It is going to be a 1:17.9, so not a bad time for Possum actually, despite being held up a bit. Antoine Salomon of Switzerland goes faster though. 1:17.4 is his time. As we see other drivers come across the line. Will Salomon's time be beaten? Kosovolos doesn't with a 1:18.2. Neither does Salazar of Chile with a 1:18.1. And then we've got Rufino Fontes of Portugal as well, with Bernard Santal, who made his debut in the last round to replace the injured Walter Brunn. But it looks like Santal will get that seat permanently, disappointed with Walter Brunn's performance in the first round. And Ian Duncan, the 1:18.6. The slowest driver in the 1:18th was Rufino Fontes of Portugal in the 1:19.3, so he's currently the slowest of the 7 drivers that have gone through, but there's still 5 others to make their way across the line. Malcolm Stewart goes into 3rd, slotted behind his teammate Possum with a 1:18.0. And 9th for Neil Crane goes into 8th, as Fontes goes into the bubble now thanks to Franz Conrad of Austria. And that is Pierre Didot, 1:17.6, so the man on his F1 return, 1:17.6, 2/10 slower than Salomon, but still really, really good time for him. So it's both Portuguese drivers in the danger zone, Joaquim Santos and Rufino Fontes. Can they turn things around as Fontes goes into the pits? Okay, here we go. We're going to go aboard with Rufino Fontes as they go into his car. I'm going to see what the Portuguese driver can do here as he's making his way to the start finish line. And here goes Fontes, starts his flying lap now, making his way to turn number 1. And we've of course got Franz Comrade behind him, the man in the bubble at the moment, so for Fontes to try and beat. And he's heading for the first section, the first sector of this track. And what's his time going to be in sector number 1? 5.7 to catch Salmon, which I don't think is going to happen. And going down to sector 1, it's going to be a 32.8, so already 2 seconds down on Salomon. So already Fontes would not improve his time by quite a margin. As he's making his way to sector 2. Fontes way off the pace. So Salomon is not. So Franz Comrade is going to stay well and truly ahead of the Portuguese driver. As we've got 10 seconds left on the clock, so the session is about to end. And looks like it's going to be the end for Fontes getting into group qualifying as well. And we'll make our way to the last corner, and I think Franz Comrade is about to come right past the Portuguese driver. And Fontes goes across the line, doesn't improve his time by quite a large margin actually. Here's his teammate Santos. Can Santos be a different story? 3.9, actually no. So Santos is not going to be able to get into group qualifying either, so it's going to be another double D. Did not pre-qualify for Portugal, which is not ideal for them. They are bottom of the board, and they are in danger of going out at the end of the 8th round. Oh, we've had a big spin! That is Possum that had an incident with Pierre de Doan. What happened? What happened to Possum? Okay, I think. Try to go to the inside. I think they touched wheels. There's Pierre de Doan. No one to give him a position. Oh, Possum just came in too hot and he took himself off the track. Pierre de Doan pretty much got out of it unscathed. Oh, but that was a very... Yes, the Possum went way too hot there. So that was pretty much his own making there that he went off. But Pierre de Doan, nowhere near the base best time, but it doesn't matter, he's through to group qualifying anyway. Possum will make it through to group qualifying. He is come through. Let's just hope he doesn't make that same blunder again for group qualifying, because otherwise it would probably ensure he doesn't make it to the actual race itself. Salazar nowhere near his best time, but it doesn't matter because he is well and truly through to group qualifying. As we just gotta wait for this session to come to an end. Can Possum get back on the track now, because Possum is well and truly stuck there. As I think the game's gonna keep going until Possum's out of the car. Yes, Possum's now out of the car. So that is the session over. So Antoine Salomon wins the second pre-qualifying group. Pierre de Doan is in second. Both New Zealanders sound fourth. Bernard Santal is fifth. Salazar takes sixth. Costas Loss is seventh. Ian Duncan is in eighth. Neil Krang ninth. And Franz Comrade rounds the top 10, which means we say goodbye to both Portuguese drivers of Fontes and Santos. So this has already been a very difficult season for Portugal in their first Formulalympics season. However, they still have a few more rounds to turn things around, but until then it's now time to move on to the group qualifying session. And here we go. It is the first group for group qualifying. So the question is, who is going to win this group and who will be the top 11 drivers to make it to the race? As we got our first taker to go out, and it is Stefan Johansson of Sweden going out first to set the benchmark for everyone to try and beat. As everyone's now on the track to start their first laps of the session, and it's a 1:16.8 from Stefan Johansson. A very, very quick time there from the Swede, as we got a couple of drivers making their way around the final corner to set their first flying lap times. Will they beat Stefan Johansson's 1:16.8? And here we go, coming across the line, we've got Hideki Okada 130.3 and Derek Daly 117.3 also, so 11 thousandths of a second separating them. But Boy Rahul goes fastest, 116.7. John Jones, no, that's Stephanie Hansen, no, not John Jones. We've got Ian Duncan in 5th with 117.6. Alboreto 118.2. Conrad 180.3. Bernd Santel 120.5. But Derek Ward goes fastest now with a 116.5. Pierre Didon, there he is in 7th position, 118.0, with Joachim Mass in 6th position with a 117.4. So Santel is in the bubble already as we speak, as David Kennedy pushes Santel in the danger zone. Now Franz Conrad's in the bubble with a 118.3. And there's Louis Parasago goes to 8th, Conrad's in the danger zone, Alboreto is now in the bubble. But Laruri goes into 10th, and that pushes Didon into the bubble. But Thorkelsson goes to the 10th now. Laruri is the one in the bubble, 117.7. Carlos Sainz goes into the bubble and he goes into the danger zone immediately thanks to Bernd Schneider. As Nelson Piquet goes into 5th now with a 116.8. 4 drivers left to set their first flying lap times. So we have to wait for them to come across the line. We've got Yanayama in 13th position. We got Philippe Streif 19th place, 118.3. Alain Prost 118.3, another also a disastrous time for him. Franz Korn goes into 18th, and the last driver to make their way across the finish line, which I guess that's Paulson. Paulson is in 6th, 117.1. So probably the big surprise is Carlos Sainz down in 15th position. Philippe Streif, the lean driver in the F2 Championship, down in 21st with a 118.3, half a second slower than his teammate Prost. Carlos Sainz 15th. Where is his teammate Perez Sala? 11th position in the bubble. So if he gets triggered to the top 11 by pushing his own teammate in danger of going out. What can Sainz do here? He's coming across the finish line. He does a 130.8, improves his time, but stays in 15th position, so he doesn't take down his own teammate, Perez Sala. Well, let's find Philippe Streif. Coming around the last corner, he's going into the pits. He's going to follow, I'm guessing that's Rahul into the pits. Oh, Rahul overcooked it there, but at least he's in the pits in the end there. Alain Prost goes into the pits as well, so for France, they're in danger going out after round 12, which is not something I thought I was going to end up seeing, but it's been a very difficult start of the season for the French team, especially for Alain Prost and Jean-Louis Schlesser, but Jean-Louis Schlesser has been dropped by the team already. The big surprise right now is definitely Sainz down in 15th. Alboreto actually down in 19th as well. That's another big surprise because Alboreto is third in the standings. So very big surprise there. So go aboard the Italian. There's Nelson Piquet who is currently 5th in the session right now with a 116.8, 3 times faster in 6th place, which is awesome. So we're going to watch out and see what Alboreto can do here. We're going to see if Streif, Prost and Sainz will get out of the pits soon, because the fact those drivers in the danger zone is a huge surprise. So it'll be especially when France are really struggling so early into the season. This is like worst case scenario for them at the moment, that they cannot have many more races, otherwise they could end up being eliminated during the season. Made Alboreto about to complete his outlap to do his flying lap now. As here comes Michele Alboreto to start his time now. We've got a couple of drivers coming out of the pits. Among them is Bernd Schneider, the lean driver in this group. Alboreto trying to chase down Alboreto. The 2 French drivers are ahead. That's Streif and Prost. Hopefully don't not slow each other down too much, because especially without really needing to get into this race to try and get themselves back in the top 20. There goes Michele Alboreto in sector 1. What's his time going to be? It's going to be a 30.6, only 600 a second slower than Bernd Schneider. His best time is 1.8 seconds slower than Schneider, so this is already a good start for the Italian. But what can Alboreto make of it? Going in sector 2. He is going to be 2 tenths down, but that would still be good enough for him to get into the race. He's got PK, who's been slowed down by Streif and Prost. The fact that bunched up together is not going to do either of those drivers any favours. But we'll go on board with Philippe Streif though once Alboreto completes this flying lap. And there comes Michele Alboreto coming around the final corner. What is his time going to be? Is he going to make it in the top 11? Is he going to push Perez into the danger zone? He does a 160.8. He goes into 4th. So that's more than enough to ensure he's going to be in the race. That pushes Louis Perez into the danger zone. With David Kennedy for Ireland now in the bubble with 2.5 minutes left in the session to go. Carlos Sainz to go back on the track. So we'll check on Carlos Sainz to see if he can qualify for the race. Meanwhile, looking at the current F2 leader in the... current F2 leader of the season so far, Philippe Streif. He's going to be 3 tenths down on Schneider in sector 1. There's his teammate Alan Prost right in front of him, so it's going to be make things a bit awkward. Joachim Massa improved his time. He goes into 7th. He goes ahead of Possum, but Joachim Massa was already in the top 11, so he's still literally in the top spot for the race. Boy Rahal improves his time. He stays in 3rd with 116.7. Philippe Streif is now 4 tenths down on Bernd Schneider, but it will still be a good enough time to get into the race in its first Formula-Olympic race. And here we go, coming towards the final corner of this track. Alan Prost trying to get past Derek Warwick. Yama pushes Kennedy in the danger zone, but what about Philippe Streif? He goes into 6th. His teammate Prost is 4th. So Daly and Yama are in the danger zone now. So we'll now go check on Carlos Sainz. Can he push Okada into the danger zone? Which will push Possum in the bubble. We'll lock up the brakes. That's going to cost Sainz a wee bit of time, but will it be good enough for him to get into the top 11? Oh, he does not put his time. His locking of the brakes may have cost him dearly there. Okay, what a session this is turning out to be. So Schneider's leading, Warwick is 2nd, Boy Rahal is 3rd, Alan Prost is down to 4th, Alboreto takes 5th, 6th is Philippe Streif, Stefan Johansson 7th, Nelson Piquet 8th, Joachim Massa 9th, Possum 10th, and Hideki Okada in the bubble for Japan in 11th position. But Carlos Sainz has got one final push to give. He's 6 tenths down Schneider in the first sector. His teammate Luis Perez at 15th position, only 3 tenths faster than Sainz. Santal improved his time, but he's still the slowest man on the track with a 118.8, so it's not been great for Santa. Oh my god, we've had an incident. Derek Warwick is heading off. Okay, off goes Derek Warwick. What happened here? He's got a big train, so he's got Prost right behind him. He's going to try to get David Kennedy. Oh, I think it's gone wrong between him and Kennedy. Yeah. Oh! Right into the barrier there. Oh, he's actually done quite a bit of damage to his car as well. Oh, that was a big hit there. Hopefully Warwick will be able to race. Louis Perez goes into the bubble now. He pushes back into he goes back into the bubble. He pushes Okada in the danger zone now. 8 seconds left for the qualifying section to go. Carlos Sainz needs to get, if he doesn't get in the top 11 now and push his team down, then it's going to be over for Carlos Sainz. And here goes Carlos Sainz, so we go across the finish line. Is he going to beat his own teammate? No, he doesn't improve his time. He stays in 18th, so Carlos Sainz is out. His teammate Perez is currently in 11th, but it's going to be very intense to find out if he's going to make it to the race. David Kennedy has got a good time. Looks like he might have a good time in on him. So watch out, David Kennedy pushes Perez into the danger zone. That will put Spain out. Remember, Spain are leading the nations table, so if both drivers don't qualify for here, well, that's going to be a huge problem for them. Couple of cars left to go for the Irishman. What can he do here? Santos proves time, stays bottom of the board. Is David Kennedy going to push Spain out? And here we go, coming across the finish line. What can Kennedy do here? And Kennedy goes into 5th. That's Louis Perez out. So it's over so Spain are not going to have either drivers make it to the race. So that means their chance of maintaining the lead of the nation table definitely going to go up in smoke, it looks like. So we're just going to wait. So probably going to end up waiting for the session to be over. It's over now, but oh my goodness. Right towards the end. So, Bernstein won the first group. Derek Warwick takes second. In third is Bobby Rahal. Alan Prost is fourth. David Kennedy, that final spurt of speed, in fifth. Al Barretto is sixth. Philip Street, F2 championship leader, qualified for the race in seventh. Stefan Johansson for Sweden is eighth. PK is ninth. Joe Mass is 10th. And the final driver to make it through is Possum. So we say goodbye to Louis Peresala, Hideki Okada, Derek Daly, Yan Yama, Ian Duncan, Thorkild Thyrang, Carlos Sainz, LaRourie, Pierre Dodon is F1 return, Franz Conrad and Bertrand Santal. All of them have gone out. So who will be the other 11 drivers to join the top 11 in this group into the race? Well, let's jump into the second group and we're going to find out together. And here we go, group number 2 for group qualifying. So the question is, who is going to be the 11th driver to complete our grid for the race? So we've got a couple of drivers already wanting to go out to set a benchmark, so we'll go on board with where those are. So we've got, this will be John Nielsen, and he's got Ari Vatanen right behind him for company. Okay. And here goes John Nielsen making his way down to the start finish line, and the benchmark time from the Dane is a 1:16.737, a very good time there. Ari Vatanen a 1:17.7, so over a second slower than the Dane. Jorge Ricaldi in second, 1:17.5. Thierry Boutsen 1:17.0. Okay, times are coming a second fast at the moment, but no one in the 1:16s apart from Nielsen. And we got Timo Salonen, the other Finn, 1:18.9. Apostolo 1:18.4 for Greece. Next up, Sig Blomqvist does a 1:17.6. Nigel Mansell, the championship leader, 1:16.6, goes fastest in this group so far. But will he still be the fastest man at the end? This will be Salazar of Chile, nearly going into the bubble thanks to Ludwig Heinrich, who goes into 8th. And going into the bubble, Ayrton Senna goes into second place, 1:16.6, so Salazar is in the bubble for Chile. And it's now in the danger zone thanks to Malcolm Stewart of New Zealand with a 1:17.1. Gerhard Berger goes into 5th. That pushes Theo Salonen in the danger zone. Heinrich now is in the danger zone thanks to Antoine Salomon. So we've got 3 SALs on the board. So Salomon is 10th, Salonen is 14th, and Salazar ball on the board. As Kostas Loss goes into 4th for Greece. Ivan Capelli's in the bubble. Eddie Cheever's in the danger zone. No scratch. John Jones goes into 9th. That pushes Capelli in the danger zone. Jose Celsi of Chile goes into 14th with a 1:18.3. 3 times left to be recorded. Foshi slowest 1:19.8. Salonen improves down to 19th. 16th. Who's the other driver's time? Van der Merwe 18th, 1:18.8. And Neil Crane, the last driver to set a time, is the slowest, 1:22.8. That's a really not a good time for him. Especially when his teammate didn't even pre-qualify. John Bowe, the man who made his debut. Here goes Ivan Capelli. Can he improve his time to go to the top 11? No, he doesn't, but Eddie Cheever does, and that pushes Vatanen into the danger zone, and Blomqvist goes into the bubble now. Salazar of Chile. Neil Crane really struggling in this group qualifying. He improved his time, but he is way off the pace still. And there comes Ari Vatanen to cut him off as Vatanen comes out to do his outlap, so he can push Stig Blomqvist into the danger zone. And Gerhard Berger improved his time. He goes into 4th. He goes ahead of the Greekman with a 1:16.8 being his time. Ivan Capelli pushing hard already, but will it come to much? George Foshi improves his time. He goes into 18th with a 1:18.8, so it's still not going to be enough for Foshi to qualify for this race. Now Capelli down in sector 1. He is 3/10 down on Mansell. That's already a good start for the Italian. Yes, he's not. He's still behind. Well, he's still slower than Mansell, but it's definitely put on the right track to get in the top 11 and into the race. Van der Merwe, the other South African pro this time, he re-overtakes his teammate Foshi with a 180.7. Jose Celsi pro this time with a 118.2, but he stays 15th, so Chile might not qualify for this race. Ivan Capelli going in the third sector. What can he do here? Oh, he's going to abandon that time going to the pits. Oh, there's not enough time left, so Ivan Capelli, I think Capelli has admitted defeat and he's going to go out. Oh no, if Capelli finished that time, I think he would have been well and truly in the top 11, but Capelli decided otherwise. So go aboard we'll focus on Apostolo as we got 50 seconds of the time remaining. Because the only big name in this the only two big names in the bomb 11 I would say are Capelli and Vatanen, but they both go in the pit, so they're confirmed they're not going to make it to the race. Apostolo go across the first sector, half a second down. That would be probably good enough for 8th position if things go Apostolo's way. He just needs to try and find that keep up the pace if possible. And coming down into sector 2, Van der Merwe proved this time again 180.6, but it's still not going to be enough. And 1.2 seconds down. I think Apostolo might just about miss out the top 11 spots. So I don't think Apostolo's going to make it. Time has now expired. So Apostolo just needs that final push to probably just sneak his way ahead of Blomqvist and make it to the race. But I have a bad feeling Apostolo is not going to be able to do it. And no, he's not. He doesn't improve his time, so Apostolo is out. So that is the end for Apostolo. What about George Foshi of South Africa? What can he do here? Comes across the line. Krang put his time, he stays bottom of the board, and Foshi put his time, but he stays 19th, so Foshi is out. Antoine Salomon, it looks like he's going to be out as well. But what about Sarah Van der Merwe coming towards the final corner of the session? But no, Mary's going to pit. So Mary's out. So we have our top 11 drivers. I suppose it's where everyone is going to finish up on the board thing. As Stig Blomqvist, he is cutting the bubble. Can he get a better time? Probably get a better grid slot for the race. And here goes Stig Blomqvist. Is he going to improve his time? Or will he stay the man? Nope, he's not going to improve his time. And that is the end of that session. Okay, so things got interesting really quickly. So Nigel Mansell wins the second group, which is really handy when he's the championship leader. Ayrton Senna, the man on his tower defence for the Drivers' Championship, in second by only 0.03 of a second separating them. John Nielsen, another good result for him and for Denmark in third. Gerhard Berger, the man who's second in the standings, is fourth. Kostaslov's amazing result for Greece is fifth. Thierry Boots in sixth. Malcolm Stewart seventh. Eddie Cheever takes eighth. Jorge Ricciardi ninth. John Jones 10th. And Stig Blomqvist, the last man to qualify in 11th. So we say goodbye to Ari Vatanen, Antoine Salomon, Ivan Capelli, Jose Celsi, Konstantinos Apostolo, Sarah Van der Merwe, Ludwig Heinrich, George Foshi, Timo Salonen, Alicia Salazar, and Neil Krang. So with that session out of the way, it's finally time to check out the grid positions and see where everybody stacks up. And here we go onto the grid lineup. It's Bernstein in pole position with Derek Warwick in second. Championship leader Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna lock out the second row. Ralph takes fifth with John Nielsen in impressive sixth with Denmark. Alan Prost and Dave Kennedy are on row 4. Round the top 10 is Gerhard Berger and Michele Alboreto. Philip Street takes 11th with Stefan Johansson in 12th. 13th Kostaslovs and Nelson Piquet is 14th. Thierry Boots and Joe Mass are 15th and 16th, with the two New Zealanders on the 9th row. In 19th is A Chief of the United States, Ricciardi is 20th, at the back of the grid is John Jones of Canada and Stig Blomqvist of Sweden. With the championship leader starting in third position with his main rival Gerhard Berger still within the top 10 positions in the grid. How will things play out? Without further ado, let's make our way over to the race. And here we go. It is the main race here in Spain, with Bernstein in pole position, Derek Warwick second, and the foul bonus point going to Nigel Mansell, with Nigel Mansell having a 2-point lead over Gerhard Berger now thanks to his bonus point, with Gerhard Berger starting in 9th. The third highest placed driver is Alboreto in 3rd in the standings, and he's starting the race in 10th. So can Nigel Mansell take advantage of that to increase his lead over the two drivers? Meanwhile, the 1984 champion Aaron Senna, off to a rough start of the season, he's qualified 4th. Can he convert that to big points to get himself back towards the front in contention to defend his title? And with Spain having neither drivers qualifying, I think it's fair to say the United Kingdom, Austria, Italy, and probably a few other countries have a very, very good opportunity to take the lead off them. So what will happen here? Let's get into this race and find out. So let's focus our attention on Schneider, as he's the man on pole. As we get ready to race now. I'm sorry. We get race now, and it looks like a good start there for Bernd Schneider, the number 1 car. But here comes Nigel Mansell though, flying, going down towards turn 1, not quite able to take the lead, but that was a very good start there from the Brit. And Derek Warwick, just like that, has gone and taken the lead of this race. Let's get the Ford to come back to the pits before it's too late. So Warwick leads, Schneider 2nd, Mansell 3rd, Rahul has passed Senna for 4th, Senna 5th, Prost 6th. John Nielsen of Denmark is 3rd. Meanwhile, Gerhard Berger, he's making his way up to 8th, trying to get past David Kennedy of Ireland. And Alboreto rounding off your top 10, trying to get involved in the action between Berger and Kennedy. In fact, here goes Gerhard Berger to try to see if he can make the move on David Kennedy. But David Kennedy is having none of it for the time being. And so Derek Warwick already about half a second lead over Bernd Schneider. There's Nigel Mansell still sitting in 3rd, with Bobby Rahal in 4th. Rahal, the 1984 F2 champion, already having a good start of the season. Looking down towards the bottom of the field, and Nelson Piquet's had a bit of a rough start. Gone from, I think he started 14th, but he's dropped down to 17th already, so not a good start for the Brazilian, especially with how good a start his teammate has had. Derek Warwick, fastest man on the track, 1:19.1 is the time. The only driver that was remotely close to that was probably Bernd Schneider with a 1:19.2. I think everyone else is into the high 19s, early 20s, it looks like. I've got Nigel Mansell gets a fast lap of the race, a 1:18.9. Try to close in on Bernd Schneider to keep his teammates. But as I was saying, it is 5th in the first race in West Germany, 12th in Silverstone. So 5th place finish for Senna would definitely help Brazil out, especially in their time defence. They're currently 8th in the standings. They're behind South Africa, who sits in 7th. And that's thanks to George Foshi's 4th place finish in the first round of the season. However, they have double DNQ'd the previous round of Silverstone and this round as well. So opportunity for Senna to help Brazil fly up the order. Derek Warwick, fast man on the track, 1:18.6. So Derek Warwick has 2 points thanks to qualifying 2nd in this race, DNFing the West Germany, and didn't even qualify his home race in the previous round. Oh, it looks like Nigel Mansell is closing in on Bernd Schneider of West Germany, going board with the Brit. And Derek Warwick gets the fastest lap of the race, 1:18.6, while Schneider on 1:19.1, Nigel Mansell on 1:19.3. Coming around to the hairpin. There's Nigel Mansell. He's now right behind Bernd Schneider. In fact, Alan Prost is approached right behind Ayrton Senna now. So the gaps have well and truly closed in between Senna, Prost, and Mansell and Schneider. With boy Rahal in the midst of all this. I mean, being a pretty uneventful race at the moment. However, as it stands, Nigel Mansell should still comfortably be in the lead of the Drivers' Championship, and the United Kingdom most definitely will take the lead of the championship, with Derek Warwick dominating this race. So it's pretty much going brilliant for the United Kingdom in the nation table wise. Of course, the defending champions West Germany having a bit of a rough start to the nation's table defence. They came 6th in their home race in West Germany, but the result in Silverstone being 13th. They are currently sitting 10th in the standings, so they so Bernstein finishing second, it will the gap will increase between them and the United Kingdom, but it definitely will help them out a lot, finding their footing to get themselves back in the fight to defend their title. And Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost attempted an overtake there, but it looks like Ayrton Senna managed to defend his position. Well, what a move there from Alan Prost, though. It just wasn't meant to be, though. Go on board with the Frenchman. That's by Rahal. Things have closed in on Nigel Mansell, getting right behind the Brits. Maybe he's going to see if he can get himself involved for himself and for the United States. America currently sitting 9th in the nations table, while Rahal himself is 11th in the standings. And the biggest gainers are Possum and Kostas. They both gained 2 positions each. They started 17th and 11th. And the other gainers are Boutsen, Prost, Warwick and Rahal. They all gained 1 position each, with the biggest loser being Nelson Piquet, who was the only driver to lose more than 1 position. However, we can see we're about to start lap number 29, so I imagine pit stops are not going to be too far away from the corner. As I say that, I think Derek Warwick is coming into the pits, though he kind of missed the pit stop a little bit there. And is anyone else coming in? Yes, Bernstein's coming in, but he's missed the pit box as well. That pit lane is a bit tight for some drivers, but it looks like Mansell's going to take the lead. Is going to take the lead of this race, and it looks like it's just going to be Schneider and Warwick in this train. That's going in, and Warwick is in and out. He gets ahead. He is going to stay ahead of Schneider, but I think Schneider had a faster pit stop. And so those in the lower end of the train going to come in. Does not look like it. So let's see. We'll see how it plays out. So for the time being, Mansell is leading. Rahal is second. Third is Senna. Whereas Prost 4th, Nielsen 5th, Kennedy 6th, Sensesberger, Alberto 8th, Warwick is 9th. Whereas Bernstein around the top 10. But it looks like Bernstein was fast in the pit lane, because the gap's reduced by about 3 seconds, which I think was about 7 before they went into the pits. So we do have a bit of a. So we've got the top 4 with a big gap between 5th down to 8th now. Let's see who amongst them are going to pit. Will any of them stay out, or are they all going to pit this lap? So Warwick is. So Mansell's in. So is Rahal. Senna's coming in. Prost is coming in as well. Oh man, they're really struggling. They're all just coming. It's just because they're going so quick around this corner. In fact, Alboreto is actually spun. That's not going to do him any favours to try and stay ahead of Warwick. Meanwhile, here goes Warwick about to come across the start-finish line. He should comfortably retake the lead of this race. And yes, he does. What about Schneider? Is he going to be second? Yes, he is going to be second. But here comes the train coming out. Mansell's going to be 3rd. And Senna is going to be 4th. Nielsen 5th. Prost is 6th. Kennedy 7th. Berger 8th. Alboreto goes up to 9th. But Rahal has dropped down to 10th position. We've had an incident with Stefan Johansson. Where's Johansson got? Oh, he's had. Okay, so let's get a replay to figure out what's happened to Johansson. I noticed in this graphic Possum had an incident, so let's check Possum out first. See what happened to him before what happened to Johansson. I think Johansson just missed the pit box entirely. Well, let's see what happened to Possum first, as he's making his way to the pits. The problem is there's a very tight bend going into the pit lane, so a lot of the drivers are going too fast. Like the only driver I saw was that didn't go too fast. I think it was Nielsen. So Possum's coming in, goes a bit wide. Oh, okay. So him and Johansson had a bit of contact. Oh my goodness, Johansson! Went to him there. Oh what? Well, okay. So Johansson just. Okay, so. Mistake there from Possum, from Johansson. Caught Boutsen, who ended up getting caught, catches out. Boutsen, yeah. No, that's just a messy situation, and hopefully Johansson's alright after that, because that was, well, that'd been very uncomfortable after that, and Johansson just. Okay, so Johansson just pushed Oh, that was okay, so just a massive ding-dong there is the best way I can describe it. So Johansson's out of the race. Not a great way to go. And, oh, and Alboreto has just got past Gerhard Berger. We missed that, but Alboreto now sees himself into 8th position. So that's going to help out a little bit in the standings, but the problem is because Mansell is still ahead in this race, he's in 3rd compared to Alboreto's 8th. Mansell still open quite a good gap between him and Alboreto in the standings, let alone as well as Gerhard Berger, not to mention. So let's see who's the base gainer and loser now after the pit stop. So the base gainers. Well, the base gainers are pretty much those towards the back of the field. So, oh, Derek Wall gets past that by the way, 118.6. So the base gainers pretty much those at the back. So Bootson, Mass, Possum, Stevenson, Chiba, Ricaldi, Jones, and Blogfist. And then the big loser, the big loser is Philippe Streif, the debutant. Started 11th, but he's dropped down to the back of the field, so he's both had actually the pit stops. Nelson Piquet has also had a disaster of pit stop. He's down to 20th. And the other big loser is Rahul, who lost 5 positions. Again, pit stops being pretty much the reason why. And now Nigel Mansell gets the fast lap of the race with a 1:17.4, so he is well, that was a very fast time there for Nigel Mansell. Aaron said at a 1:17.9. Everyone else is in the 1:18s. So good showing there for Senna and Mansell. That's going to help them reduce the gap quite considerably between them and Schneider. And Derek Warwick says fast lap of the race again. 1:17.4 is the time. Schneider 1:18.0. Mansell 1:18.0. 1:18.1 from Ayrton Senna. But it looks like I think the gap's got considerably bigger. Yes, quite bigger between him and Nielsen now. Well, by Rahal things are close in on Gerhard Berger. Could this be his chance to finally make the pass on the Austrian for 9th position? Well, right behind him, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to do it. And here we go, just a couple left to go. Schneider, Mansell and Senna are closing in on Derek Warwick, but it doesn't matter. It's Derek Warwick with just a couple of cars left to go is going to be the winner of the race around in Spain. And here around the final corner, and just got to make it across the finish line to make it the finish show that Derek Warwick is the race winner here in Spain. I'm just going to wait for Bernd Schneider to come round in 2nd place, 3rd for Nigel Mansell, with Ayrton Senna finishing in 4th, as we just got to wait for everyone else to make their way across the finish line. And that's everybody across the finish line. So Derek Warwick, your race winner by 6.3 seconds over 2nd place Bernd Schneider, with Nigel Mansell finishing in 3rd for a double British podium, with Ayrton Senna taking 4th. John Nielsen, a great result for Denmark in 5th. Alan Prost finally getting France's first points of the season 6th. David Kennedy, a good result for Ireland in 7th. Michele Alboreto is 8th. 9th is Gerhard Berger, and the final point going to Bobby Rahal of the United States, though he'll be very, very disappointed with that result. And looking down the order, those that missed out on points, Costas Loss takes 11th for Greece, Tilly Boutsen is 12th, 13th Joachim Mass, the 2 New Zealanders 14th and 15th. A Cheever takes 16th, Hoy Ricaldi finishes 17th, John Jones is 18th, Stig Blomqvist is 19th, and Nelson Piquet will be absolutely frustrated to be down 20th. And down towards the back, Philippe Streif, the last finisher, will be devastated. A good potential debut turned into a nightmare, finishing the last finisher in 21st, with our only DNF being Stefan Johansson after the kerfuffle that happened in the pit lane. So with that result out of the way, let's check out the overall standings. Looking at the F1 standings, we see Nigel Mansell leading the way with 44 points, which is 50 more than joint 2nd place of Gerhard Berger and Bernd Schneider, who shared 29 points. Derek Warwick, who won the race, is now up to 4th with 27 points, with Michele Alboreto round up the top 5, along with John Nielsen with 23 points each. going to the Nations competition, and the United Kingdom, with their 2 wins thanks to Silverstone and Spain, they lead the way with 50 points, which is 17 more than second place, which is Spain, with both drivers failing to qualify. Austria, with their 9th place, goes into 3rd, ahead of West Germany, who sits in 4th, and then tying for 5th is Italy and Denmark. Meanwhile, Alain Prost's 6th place finish for France has helped France go into 11th, pushing Switzerland in danger of being eliminated at the end of the 12th round. So what are my final thoughts? Well, admittedly this wasn't a very exciting race because there were that many overtakes that happened throughout the course of the race, apart from the very start of the race and then a relatively late charge with Alboreto and Berger. However, there is something to come out of it. Nigel Mansell asserting a very good lead in the individual championship, as well as the United Kingdom leading the way by 17 points in the Nations competition, which is quite significant despite the, I guess you could say, a bit of a lackluster race, but it was still interesting to see regardless of how this was going to impact the championship. However, we go over to round 4 of the season, and hopefully it'll be a much more exciting race, and hopefully it'll be quite a bit of drama going into the F1 individual and nations competitions. And I hope to see you over there and see how things will kick off.